Game 5, Risky Business versus Problem Solved. Absolute craziness. 2-2 is the scoreline. Winner moves on to week 4. And
Week 4.
I keep saying Risky Business.
I know. I just gave up on you. I'm like, whatever. It's risky something, right? But I mean, just this set. I love best of 5s. They're so fun because you not only see the development of the meta and the picks and bans,
what they felt like.
but the play style of the players, right? And Risky Business have just
Behavior.
Yeah, you did. You did. Risky Behavior have gone from this scared ranked team facing off against the big tough problem solved, and now no, you compare their game 1 performance to their game 3 and 4, it is worlds different. They were scared. They ran Isis Thor, and they let the opponents aggress into them.
And then they just ran Nox Ninja.
Yeah,
rough. But Game 5 is here.
Let's just go. I want to see it. I want to see it.
I expect to see Problem Solve want to go with exactly the same thing as they did last game and look for the same sort of bans. But
side has switched, though.
Side has switched.
Risky Behavior choosing to take Order side. I don't think they're going to ban out their own Isis Thor, but they need to be worried about Problem Solve picking it up, especially considering Problem Solve recognized that that was the problem.
Giannis banned away. Nobody wants to deal with Giannis, it seems, during these games. Khepri in response here from Problem Solve. They don't want to give that one up his first pick. And Kronos. So we're not seeing some of the big names once again getting picked up. Will Ravana get through?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Problem Solved don't care. And like Risky Behavior basically have to pick it up because what we've seen in this set is that Baskin flat out is, ooh, it's actually Kuang.
So Kuang goes over to Risky Behavior. Problem Solved now have the option to themselves rather than Chiron on the table.
I mean, Chiron, I think, is going to guaranteed be picked up.
I don't know,
but to be fair, Metyankey is like he's a hard carry. Like you take a look at your players, and sometimes it's like, all right, when the going gets tough, when we get to late game, who do I want to carry my game? And you know what? One of those players is it's Metyankey. Metyankey on the Kronos and Hoi on these late game monsters has been phenomenal. But they're going to pick up New Wall, borrowing a little
taste of flex.
Little taste of flex.
Well, the one thing about New War here is against Kuang, you can use the fire shots to get away from danger and jump into the sky when you're going to get ulted. So we'll see how that works out. Hoi taken by Risky Behavior here. Ravana was picked up for potentially Baskin here.
Okay. Sylvanus actually picked up. So this is interesting, right? So they take away the Hoi, but they also have an Kuang. And honestly, Risky Behavior are going completely against what the style they were playing in the first 4 games, where it was high pressure and multiple lanes, and they picked 2 low pressure gods. And instead, though, they pair the Hoi with Sylvanus. We haven't seen Sylvanus in a long time. He can get picked off, but he controls the wave just like Khepri.
Push power, very strong. Good sustain as well, which is one thing that will help out against fire shot, potential ults from New War. However, Chiron going to be in that lane. He has plenty of sustain. And I think Sylvanus was expecting a Chiron too, because of the heals that are going to come out in that lane. Healing's going to be relatively even, if not in favor of Sylvanus a little bit. Thor, banned away, problem solved, and not going to be able to pick that one up, and Neath is not going to be available for Risky Behavior.
That's something to note too, is that Thor was available, but we saw Scream not actually elect to pick it up, or excuse me, Varizial not actually pick it up.
Venenu here in the mid lane has been focused again. New War taken away from him. Isis banned, Poseidon banned, Kronos banned, Giannis banned. Venenu has to find something for the mid lane here. Will he go for the Nox again is the question. It'll combine better with an Kuang, and he can be more supportive, but then they're looking very magical.
That's really risky to go Nox again. I just don't like it's not that Venenu is hitting stuff, but there just wasn't enough damage from the combination.
That's what Nox brings. She brings control, not necessarily burst heavy damage. That's what Kuang's there for, right?
But that's the same thing that happened with Naja. Is like Naja is I'm going to do damage to a single target and that's it.
Sobek picked up for problem solved as well. Jigz going to resort to that. So Sobek
Chiron line actually very dangerous.
And against the Sylvanus too, you can pluck Sylvanus into awkward positions.
I think that's what problem solved is going for. They picked up the new wall as well, which is going to be able to help in the mid game.
Medusa mid.
It's going to be Medusa.
Medusa mid. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, Yaman.
Hoi, not as strong in the mid lane, obviously. His wave clears a little bit suspect down to ricochets off walls for the most part. I mean, you can get some nice triple bounces, but Aiming is going to be a little bit difficult. But Medusa, with that acid spray, should be fine to clear that one up. And Tyr locked in to go against Ravana, which is what we've seen a lot of people go for.
There's a lot of sustain and risky behavior, right? They've got the Sylvanus, they have the Tyr, and 2 hunters who, if they space themselves well, will be able to get lifesteal. And a god we have not seen all Season 3 since she took her nerfs, Serqet, makes a return to the playing field.
Now, the big question about Serqet is, what is she good against in this meta?
They're picking off Sylvanus. Like, this is problem solved. Their game plan is, we are going to kill Sylvanus.
Over and over and over again.
And over and over. And also, Serqet does very well against hunters because she can just one-shot them. So what we're going to see is Homiefe early game, focus on trying to pick off Wubbn on any rotations, just blow him up. And then late game, he's going to pick one of the hunters. He's going to blink on them, force them to beads, or at the very least, just combo them down, right? And if he can RNG like one crit off Deathbane, it's GG.
Wubbn has started with Shell on this Sylvanus, and Sylvanus, like we said, he may be under pressure quite a lot early on by Homiefe. We'll see if it actually ends up being the case. Don't forget, we've also got Hurriwind with Fire Shards, which can influence the map as well. So keep an eye on how this scene plays out. At the moment, on paper, I'm giving composition to problem solved here, I want to say. I'm feeling problem solved composition.
I think it's kind of just a difference in play styles, right? You look at Risky Behavior, and their composition is based around getting to late game with their 2 hard carries. Sylvanus protects them, and they picked up 2 hunters that are some of the best team fighting hunters in the game, right? You have Suns, you have Petrify from Medusa, all these, like, you get into a group and we're going to blow you up, as well as swinging very hard.
Well, my big thing here between the two teams is problem solved has these 2 frontliners, which will be Baskin and Jigz. Meanwhile, Risky Behavior have Marauder and Wubbn, right? They're the 2 front lines for the teams,
yes.
Both sides. Meanwhile, the junglers are both going to be self-peel, looking to go assassinate targets. But when you look at the 2 targets on either side they're going to assassinate, it's a lot easier for Homiefe to find one of these 2 hunters than it's going to be for Kuang to be able to find Hurriwind, who can use fire shards, or Chiron, who can charge away at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
It's going to be close, right? A lot of it's going to come down to Homiefe in Varizial, right?
Like, if Varizial can get Polynomicon in 2
who can kill a carry first?
Keep
right?
the Polynomicon. That's the big key for me. If
I mean, Varizial's just looking to one-shot, right? He just wants to go in, he wants to, you know, pop his storm and then execute someone who gets to 30%.
Builds at the moment at the beginning of the game. Trying to set us online for Medusa in the mid lane. And they're going to rotate round for the left-hand Harpies. Once again, Order side always takes the left Harpies, guys.
Can we highlight Jigz real quick? I want to see if he had his dash.
He did. I just heard it. No,
he didn't use it.
Oh,
that was
I thought I heard it.
Heal. I just wanted to see, like, if he got pulled, because that maybe not have been first blood, but Jigz would have been in an awkward position.
Awkward position, but he's got curse as well, so he should be okay.
And Sylvanus is telling me that he is going to be that defensive player, looking to protect his carry. He's picked up that shell. He has protections as well on his wisps. Probably going to pick up a Lotus Crown later, probably pretty late into his build, but I expect to see that as well.
And Marauder playing this tier this time, a little bit of a healthier position than Baskin so far in this one. Has that blue star as poke, but look at this on the left-hand side.
One hit.
Aggression from FaymousHate this time, and Jigz takes a lot of poke.
Sylvanus, we haven't seen him in so long, but honestly, Serqet and Sylvanus, 2 guys that we haven't seen in quite a while, make your return into Game 5, and this is... I mean, that's one thing that people don't think about is when you don't play a god or against a god for a long time, sometimes you forget the little things.
The little changes between the two. Homiefe on the right-hand side of the map here, there's not really much for him to do. He's just hanging around mid lane, waiting for the next wave to really come in here. As Hurriwind going to continue farming this up. He can poke the wave down quite consistently before he even gets there with that fog and even the clay minions early on if he needs to.
Something to note here, Serqet did go red pot, so if Risky Behavior somehow are able to secure Homiefe for first blood, I mean...
Good damage coming out for the time being. Homiefe he was more to clear the wave and poke at the same time more than anything else. He wasn't looking for a full commit.
And that's what high-level junglers do, is that they poke players down every time they can make a winning trade.
Crazy backwards and forwards in this lane. Cooldowns at the moment on Marauder. You can see he's looking for his power cleave. Stance is available in a second, so we can heal again if he needs to, but he's got potions popped. He can actually feel us out to a bit of an awkward position here. But heal up immediately with the stance change, and now hits level 5.
He's a little bit scared too of Baskin.
He's a little bit ahead of Baskin right now.
Baskin's in his head, I think, because he uses all of his abilities before the wave meets, and now he can't use them. He doesn't have control. Baskin is full mana, basically. Left side though.
Homiefe does turn up. Has the Omen looking for Wubbn, shockingly enough. They're looking to try and pick the Sylvanus off. Plucks into danger. Metyankey should get credit. No. Poison. Ticks, and Homiefe gets credit. Wubbn falls down.
And that is the goal of problem solved. Pick off Wubbn as much as they can. That's why Sylvanus, we don't see him too much, because he is so... Because when he was in the meta, Serqet and Neith were also top-tier picks, and he would get picked on every single rotation, and that is exactly what Problem Solved realized. They recognized that we may not like Serqet overall, but that's why this god is out
into
of
an awkward position for FaymousHate. What you can see, Varizial is
Suns.
nearby, but there's not a whole lot he can do. As Fire Shards comes out as well, FaymousHate going to get kicked back into dangerous territory. Metyankey gets credit for the kill. Now he should be able to pick up Varizial as well. 3-0 problem solved, and it's dual lane doing all the work.
Medusa actually dashed into here. Wubbn's here as well, and Venenu already poked to half.
And now Metyankey, look at Metyankey Jigz just happy to stay farming. They don't even need to back or anything. They didn't overcommit. They're perfectly fine to just continue putting on the farm.
This could get dangerous for risky behavior.
Control,
because so far this is problem solved game plan, right? They want it to be this far ahead. They don't want risky behavior to get to 25, 30 minutes where they have 2 hunters that are going to be super effective in team fights. They need a 6K gold lead, probably coming in into the 15 to 20 minute mark.
But why was it Sylvanus pick? That's one thing I'm not sure about. Why was it Sylvanus?
Because they went with the Hoi.
They didn't want Chiron.
It's because they want high pressure, because that's what you do in
But
Smite right
why
now.
not Chiron? They had Chiron available. They chose Sylvanus instead of Chiron.
I think they wanted to take it out of Metyankey's hands more than anything.
I can agree with that to an extent. But then give up the lane pressure.
But they don't want to, right? They've had lane pressure basically every single game.
I'm not going to
outside of the Kepri
I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself because problem solved a 3-up, 3-0 right now, and we've seen these games go on for a long period of time and stay relatively even. A good early lead though for them at the moment as Marauder pinned under the tower at the moment by Baskin.
And I expect this to happen most of this game. Marauder was doing a good job of holding out for the first 4 levels, but now I think his inexperience is showing. And look at this though.
They're baiting for. They're actually trying to pick Baskin here on the rotation.
Baskin
but
has all.
Sad
That's a little bit
news
surprising.
He was going for Boars. I think that's why they were around here. They were actually waiting on the corner here for Baskin to rotate and be like, I'm going to pick these up and then try and kill him.
They 3-way split fire elementals as well. There's actually a lot of farm.
One each. That's one each.
Oh, look at this. Homiefe now. He's turned his attention to tier. Marauder does have his ult available, but Homiefe spells it out.
Damage. Fire shards on its way. The poison is going to tick still.
He'll be fine.
You sure?
I'm positive. $100 right now.
$100 right now?
Yeah. You going to pay me?
I mean, if I had the ability to crash his game, I would, so he would die. I just don't, unfortunately. And then we'll take it 5 minutes in, though, and the pressure on this right-hand side now means that Wubbn's going to rotate in here, as well as Varizial to try and defend Baskin's pressure.
Back, though.
Homiefe isn't in the wings here, but that balls are up as well. They could look to actually invade and steal those ones away.
And you can see Jigz rotating back and forth between mid, just trying to keep the pressure on the Medusa and keep FaymousHate on his toes, not allow him to farm up too much. And honestly, we could see a gank on the left-hand side. There comes the pings, though. Medusa spells it up for FaymousHate, and he's going to back off.
And I think that's why we're seeing Wubbn quickly rotate towards mid lane early on. He's like, get me out of this lane right now. I don't want to sit here because Homiefe will come and camp me all day. So he allows FaymousHate to get some farm over in that lane as long as he can play safe in his own.
Look at this. Marauder doesn't know this is happening. Both ultimates are down, but he's going to be in an awkward spot. Already poked out, and here it is.
Well, he'll find out the worst thing because he don't think he looks at his minimap a little bit there. The root comes out. Unfortunately, the kiss didn't. The kiss would have hit there.
Overhead
I think would have found the kill.
Mr. Crush and Baskin finds a kill on Marauder, and this pick comp, it's working out.
That's Ravana, pretty much. I don't even think Homiefe needs to be there.
I needed somehow. He had death bait. He poked him out.
Jigz is in mid though, going to look for a potential block if he can find it, but illusion and lacerate used by risky behavior to defend themselves. Homiefe in the jungle now looking for a potential blue. The ultimate is available for Homiefe. Keep an eye on him going in for this. He might think about ambushing over the wall here and going for it. We've seen it multiple times.
His blink, it's not.
It's still off cooldown.
Wubbn.
It's a tarp.
He's going to get actually messed out here.
That was nice from Wubbn.
Taunted out. Jig's going to dash away, and it looks like problem solved. They're just going to steal away this blue buff, but it appears risky behavior. They don't want to give it up for free. Wubbn, he's going to look to ult. He finds one as Jigz goes underwater.
4v2 was the call, but they only hit Baskin, and they were really lucky for the pick on Jigz, who's lurking in the waters. Baskin overhead kicks onto 4. Lawbringer goes in there. Does Marauder looking for a fearless if he can find one, but who's he going to look for? It's Jigz, who doesn't have anything available. Execute goes off just as the pluck hits at the same time. Snipes come fired out as well as Baskin takes out Marauder. Fire shots, and you can see Venenu is in a lot of trouble because of the poison tick. It spreads again. Varizial jumps in to try and help Wubbn. The root helps, but can they find the kill Sanctuary to save the day?
Look at this though. FaymousHate's here. Homie blinks over the wall. Doesn't take a tower shot. Gets the double taunt. Is able to back off. Now Metyankey dueling FaymousHate in his own tower. Overall, though, a 2 for 0. Nice, just coordination from problem solved. Really
nice fight. I love what FaymousHate just did there with the ultimate too. Defensively defending the mid lane without having to worry about pressure. Going to see Metyankey back in.
The Chiron was the key for me. Metyankey found his way into that team fight while FaymousHate was still stuck in duo lane. He ults through, does a ton of damage, and they're able to help secure 2 players.
That's the mobility of Chiron, though, that really made the impact there more than anything else. It wasn't that Metyankey
380, highest base movement speed in the game.
It was more the mobility.
Highest base movement speed in the game, longest dash as well.
Was it at 380?
380s.
Highest
base movement speed. That's what
Serqet's little baby.
Yeah,
as well,
Ravana and Chiron, 2 gods with 380 base movement speed, highest in the game. Serqet used to have 380, but she got nerfed to 370, I believe.
Well, you saw the golden experience graphs a moment ago, and you can see that Wubbn's really struggling a little bit in this lane, being focused on. So far, the dual lane he got denied a bit of experience, had to rotate away. He's just trying to find experience where he can and make sure he doesn't hang around and get spoiled out by Homiefe.
This is a pretty decent lead. 3K heading into the 8-minute mark, and we haven't really seen this domination early from either team.
Baskin being aggressed on, but overhead kick denies any further. Marauder just continuing to heal up. Left-hand side, though, Chiron is 2v1 in at the moment. quite happily, as Metyankey does.
I mean, Wubbn's going to be able to heal this up, but, I mean, Metyankey's already ahead of FaymousHate, and now Wubbn's leeching even more experience away from him. Jig's going to find his rotation back in. Could find a pluck, but right-hand side, Baskin in an awkward spot. The execute. It's too early!
And they're going to get thrown into the tower, and Varizial's going to go down. And now Baskin's going to go aggressive, looking for Marauder. No, he's got no mana. Can't close the gap enough. Meanwhile, Chiron left-hand side, going to steal away the boars with the support of Jigz. Now they're going to rotate towards mid lane, potentially.
That's
or
so
just head back and look for a pick.
That's just so unfortunate. Varizial thinking he has enough burst damage to put Baskin in that execute range, and it's just, it had to be within 50 damage. Homiefe?
Still going aggressive. Marauder's solo on mana here. There's not a whole lot he can really do to stop this. One ability maximum. So
this reminds me of the game that he's chasing around the Athena. Homie's just outplaying him right now. And now he's losing all this wave to this tower. I guess he's going to teleport in.
Yeah, he's going to lose all these. There's a big creep there as well. He's got teleport, going to come back now. Venenu comes over as well from mid lane to try and support, but 7-1 is the scoreline and problem solved. Well, they're putting on a bit of a show this game, it feels. It feels like
this is the problem solved I expected to see, and I just think they're playing their composition perfectly. Risky behavior. Actually, I love both teams comped, but you have goals, and right now, problem solved are executing their goals perfectly.
Here's another goal. Kill off Kuang with 5 shards and ults. And that's not enough.
The heal might be enough,
but
it is. Homiefe going to jump forward, trying to secure it, but actually in a good spot to try and pick off Wubbn. The poison actually spread to him, and there's the taunt. One more hit. Homie finds a double. Metyankey, once again, finds his way into the mid lane. 10 minutes in, and blue buff, it's going to be picked up by problem solved as well. I mean, for how close this set has been, this game is looking like a runaway.
It looks like a runaway, and it's so unfortunate because risky behavior do not deserve to have this done to them.
Oh, Venenu just pops his purification. Got scared away by Jigz, just his presence there.
Lose the tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Homiefe helps pressure right-hand side with Baskin. Gold Fury is still available at the beginning of this game. Still not been taken by the team, even though there's around a 5,000 goal lead starting to develop between these two teams here.
You can see Baskin and Homiefe going to be able to take this tier 1 successfully. Nothing Marauder can do. 0-2-1. Only has his boots completed. He's over 1,000 gold down right now with not a single Gold Fury taken.
So the big turning point here, the first blood was over in the left-hand side. Wubbn gets picked for the first blood on Sylvanus because Homiefe was focusing him. And then from there, they just went to the right-hand side and fought. Sorry, there was a continuation fight on the left more than anything.
Jigz spamming taunt after almost throwing the set in the first 2 games.
Jigz, calm down, son. Calm down, friend. You've played okay. You ain't a pro player. Maybe you'll get there if you keep going. Taunting is so rude.
I don't know what he's doing, man.
So rude.
Like, they should have, they literally got lucky. Game 1, they threw. Game 1, risky behavior threw. Risky behavior should have won this set. Unfortunately, though, they played a little bit scared. But game's honestly still not over. This is a 6K gold lead. If risky behavior can hold out, right? If they can steal a Gold Fury, if they cannot allow problem solve to find a bigger lead, they still have their double ADC. They have a fantastic team comp for 30 minutes.
Varizial's going deep into the enemy jungle. They're looking for back harpies, for red buff, for anything on that Kuang. Couldn't find a single thing there. And all the boys have problem solved, farming their jungle consistently, keeping themselves in a good position. And now they can start turning into a Gold Fury. Wubbn's always going to be looked at consistently by Sylvanus.
This is exactly what they want. He can't walk into the jungle like that. He's poisoned out in Baskin's rotation. I mean, he's playing into problem solved's hands.
I don't blame Wubbn, I blame the pick more than anything else.
I like the Sylvanus pick, but you have to recognize
the position
that the plan is to pick you off.
And now look at the pressure coming out in mid lane. Good pressure from Marauder, though, to put some poke onto Baskin, but the rest of the team now collapsing. A problem solved. Pluck misses, thanks to a nice illusion coming out from Varizial. And Gold Fury now going to be started up by Metyankey as risky behavior, trying to hold mid lane.
Jigz in a little bit of an awkward spot. His dash is down, but you can see Gold Fury. It's already at 1,000 health, and it's done. Problem solved. Going to find themselves with an extended gold lead as risky behavior just half a second too late. Nice purification by Metyankey, and now Marauder's in an awkward spot.
And Marauder will fall down to 5 shards, if not Metyankey's Sagittarius ultimate secures it for himself. And now he's going to charge in, looking for the second kill potentially here with the help of Baskin. Metyankey gets a double, charging into the jungle, looking for a third, and there is a tree that is moving.
That's going to be Wubbn's 4th death going along with Varizial. Actually managed to get out.
FaymousHate with a nice ult to defend him, and you can see around the side Venenu was trying to help with the Medusa, force him away. 12-1, Gold Fury down, experiencing gold, escalates further. That's 12,000 experience, it's almost 1,000 experience a minute.
And now Metyankey, 2 levels ahead of FaymousHate because of how this is going. Jigz 3 levels ahead, and a lot of these games, the first 4 times, both hunters were kind of left alone, no pressure. And now Problem Solve recognize this. They switch it up. They take Homiefe, find an early level 5 gank, pick off the tree, and then just snowball from there.
And the funny thing is it seems like it's been a game of situational picks here because you don't see Sylvanus that often at the moment. You don't see Serqet that often at the moment just because of the changes to her, but they're both still useful. And they both matchups against each other. Varizial finds Jigz. Taunt that
Baskin,
one, my friend.
and
But
a little
now
bit of
in mid lane,
trouble.
Baskin's a bit of trouble.
Actually getting surrounded. Overhead kick. Now 4 members. Marauders here as well. There's the sprint pop. Baskin, no ultimate available. He's
Okay.
going to get slowed down, and he's going to get picked off.
Now this is the game of mistakes. This feels a bit like game 1.
This is a much
Already.
larger lead by Problem. Right, we're still 14 minutes in.
It's a large
It's
lead,
like
but
a
Problem Solve need
7K
to watch
lead.
this already because they're starting to get ahead of themselves a little bit. They've got themselves in control, but keep feeding out Kuang kills, and eventually he'll run away with the game if he wants
And
to.
he has 3, right? Do more online. He's going to be able to start to stack this up.
Watch Homiefe. He's on the side to the left near the
Wubbn's
Golf Fury
already
area.
poked out, though. This is dangerous.
They're looking for the tower at the moment, still trying to bring it down. It's taking a long time for him to chip away at the tier 1 tower. It's still standing. They don't find what they're after, which was the extra gold and the coffers that they really need right now.
Wubbn just doesn't have the mana or the health to really sustain through this. He has only Winged Blade online, doesn't have the breastplate, and that's the thing too, is like Wubbn's gone into, once again, kind of this new meta build that really dies early, and the focus is around your mobility, but he just can't create the space. As Sylvanus, you just have no movement ability to create the space, even though you have the bonus movement speed. Serqet's just going to be able to chase you down.
And now you can see the 3 members trying to farm up Jiro lane. They're just trying to get the experience, catch up, get some builds online, just survive this early game that has been absolutely disastrous for them, in all honesty. They do have a good mid-late game if they can get there, and if Problem Solve keep like making small rookie mistakes of going aggressive on their own, getting caught out of position, then they've got a chance.
But Problem Solve, they're going to try and extend this lead, right?
They have to.
It's the lead they want, but they need to keep the pressure up. They can't allow risky behavior to get to that spot. I want to see Homiefe continue to play exactly as he's played. He's 4-0-4. He's found big kills not only on Wubbn, but also on Marauder, more importantly. And we've seen that Marauder hasn't been able to hang with Baskin, right? Baskin is one of the best players in the world. Look at this, though. Wubbn really out of position.
Off, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get him away. Oh, that's a fantastic ult, though, coming out of Venenu to actually disengage him. And we will see Wubbn get out. Venenu saves the day there with a fantastic Petrify.
And right-hand side, actually, Kuang trying to relieve the pressure off of the solo lane. And he has to Sanctuary under his own tower and still may die. One hit. Nice knock up. Here's Marauder.
Fearless. Power cleaves. Change stance. Still going to get chased down. Fire shards.
Homies here as well. Baskin solo Marauder. Now he's forced to stout. He has no ult to get away. Sprints pop. Metyankey's here. It's only a matter of time. One more hit. The question is, who's this going to do? Go on. Baskin actually gets picked up as Problem Solved overstay their welcome.
Metyankey is in a rough spot there, trying to fire off the Sagittarius ult and find a
pick. He died
pick.
as well.
Venenu gets a double kill. Venenu could go on with this. Wubbn's a little bit low, but he's going to continue chasing. Ricochet misses. Venenu doesn't have, has Lacerate up. He's considering it going in. He's going to find it. Doesn't find the poison shots, and the clay minions going to get bursted. Nicely duped by Venenu. They're still trying to chase this, though. A risky behavior and force something.
They're not going to be able to take this tower. They don't really have the wave to do that, but they're going to try and at least get some poke off on it.
Hurriwind still here to defend. They got a minion wave coming in. I think they can take this now.
It's fine.
It is free.
Hurriwind can't stop this.
Baskin's dead for another 10 seconds. Has
but
teleport.
Slowly chipping away at that gold lead. Now 6,500.
But at the same time, in that you saw 2 people dive Baskin. Sorry, Baskin dived actually onto.
And Marauder, honestly,
Varizial.
if he was able to knock Baskin towards the tower, because he actually knocked Baskin out of the tower.
Range, yeah.
I think Baskin would have died earlier, and that would have been a much cleaner fight for risky behavior. But they're fighting back into it and taking advantage of Problem Solves over aggression and mistakes.
And now they're going to get a chance to clear the jungle as everybody from Problem Solved had to pretty much head back to base. Their Gold Fury is about to spawn, though, which is a key here. And I think if risky behavior can find this Gold Fury, it brings them back into this game. If they don't find it, then Problem Solved is going to have that lead that they just kind of lost over this over-aggression disappear on them. Baskin in a little bit of an awkward position, but he should be fine.
He's going to walk out of here. And this is honestly a lot of what risky behavior is going to be doing late game. Is I expect the Kuang to honestly save his execute to try and go on Baskin. There's 2 options. He can go aggressive, look to get a pick on a carry.
What? He plucked him and ulted him at the same time. That's disgusting. But luckily, Marauder going to be fine thanks to that Bulwark of Hope. Escape the danger. And then look to try and
he'll be able to heal up, right? Not only does Tyr have self-sustain in his kit, but he's also got Wubbn. Gold Fury started. It's at half. Risky behavior have to contest this.
Marauder charging in deep, trying to force the reset. Get the reset onto it for now. Baskin has aggro. Gold Fury resets, but Wubbn is taking a lot of poke damage at the moment. Trying to get away, but the fire shards are about to drop on his head, and Wubbn will fall. Left-hand side, Homiefe is picking on Marauder, forcing him to power cleave away. There's the Petrify that only hits onto Metyankey, but doesn't get the stun. Meanwhile, left, Homiefe versus Marauder still going on.
And Homiefe knows that Marauder doesn't have a tower. Needs to be careful. Counterblink coming in from Marauder, but he walks straight into Nuwa minions. And Homiefe finds the last hit. That's going to be 2 dead for Risky Behavior. And now Problem Solved turn their attention back to the Gold Fury.
Gold Fury is available, and there's not a whole lot I can see how Risky Behavior trying to defend this. Is only carries that can try and get in the way. Meanwhile, Homiefe is around the back of FaymousHate here, and he doesn't recognize it yet.
Oh, no.
And he's going to get collapsed on from both sides. Oh, lips in time. Homiefe missed the first poison kiss. And he escapes.
But I mean, problem solved. They find 2 kills. They get the Gold Fury. Going to the graphs, 8,000 in the lead. 14,000 experience, actually. That's one of the big ones, right? You take a look at the difference. Soul Lane right now. Oh, actually, funny enough, Homiefe is the highest level in the game. Baskin is actually not the highest on his team. 2 players beating him. You don't see that too often.
From a solo lane,
to be fair, they've been team fighting nonstop, right? Baskin hasn't even been in the Soul Lane.
But Venenu, highest on his team too, in the mid laner, having a good impact on this Medusa.
These Soul Laners are rotating into the team fights more. You're starting to see more 5v5s, right? And less,
it's also,
trying.
Look at Baskin where he is now. He's farming a wave when there's a wave pushed up near his tier 2. That's why he's a little bit further behind, because he's not actually getting as much efficient farm as he has been the whole time. But it's not, to be fair, it's not that much of an issue right now with how far ahead Problem Solved is.
And now Wubbn, level 12, he's 6 levels down on Problem Solved carry. It's just he's been getting picked off, and he still has no health in his build, right? He's going to back here. He really needs to get this Bulwark online ASAP.
The Bulwark will help him survive with the shield just to give him the initial survivability. But he's not as far behind as everyone may think now. I know he's 0-4, but if you look at the difference between him and Jigz, it's only 2 levels right now. 2 levels is kind of a standard swing between support players, between being ahead and being behind or being even. There's the 2-level difference.
Something we didn't take note of are actually problem-solved relics. They've actually picked up 2 meditations, which is so strong against Kuang. The second he starts that execute animation, they're able to pop the meditations, get those players over the thresholds, and then it becomes a useless ultimate.
You have to get it at the right time, though, because if the ult goes through just before you pop the meditation, you will still get executed.
It's a pretty small frame. Baskin being aggressed on by Marauder here, but he needs to be careful. He could get pinched off.
Polynomic frog from Varizial on the Kuang did come out, but Jigz pulled into 5 now, and he's going to take a lot of poke, but he's still fine. Now he's looking in the waters as Petrify hits into Hurriwind, forcing the purification out of him. Fearless misses from Marauder as 5 shards rain down, and now there's a rotation from Metyankey.
He's actually firing his ult straight through. Varizial, masterful shot, it's enough damage. And that's going to find that kill, and Venenu as well, picked up by Homiefe. Sprint is popped by Problem Solved. They're trying to chase down these players. Marauder trying to get back to base in time, does manage it, but Wubbn needs to be careful.
Oh, poor teleport. Whoever that is coming in, you will be missed, Marauder. Pulled into a dangerous territory. Fearless's power cleaves, Fearless's. And actually, Baskin's taking a lot of poke has to disengage from that. Marauder is actually going to survive.
Just barely, but this tier 2 tower getting aggressed on, it's going to fall. And now Metyankey has to dash away. Wubbn, come back here. Homiefe finds that kill, and now only 1 tower remains at 21 minutes on Risky Behavior's side. And Problem Solved going to steal away the jungle. Take a look at the lead. It's getting monstrous.
The funny thing about this game
13,000
is you said this through quite a few games today, Adanas, is that Problem Solved were playing it like it was ranked. This feels like a ranked game.
And they're able to get away with
it
because they have a
snowball game, you know? This, I'm sorry to say, it's been a ranked snowball game that's started off well. They
definitely played sloppy at probably the 10 to 15 minute mark. They started feeling themselves. The game wasn't close. They kind of felt like they had to win. And Risky Behavior isn't the team. That's one thing that Risky Behavior is probably suffering from, is they don't really know how to play from behind. Honestly, they're doing a fantastic job, though.
If only they had Allied.
If only that Allied, the best player from behind.
The hope and the dream.
But I mean, at this point, I mean, the game's not over, but it's Problem Solved have to throw.
The game's not over, but it's almost over. Is the best.
Problem Solved have to throw like they were at the 10-minute mark.
Let's find out. Tier 2 tower is the only thing standing on the right-hand side for Risky Behavior to try and defend, other than the Phoenixes. And immediately, Problem Solved starting to turn their attention to the right-hand side jungle once more. Wubbn just trying to clear out wards in his own half of the jungle, not even near the Fire Giant just yet. He is level 12 now, though, is Wubbn, so he's got 2 relics, no blink. So initiation is very difficult on that tree, who's now going to get plucked into an awkward position.
Fire Giant, though, doing a lot of damage. damage to both teams. Mystic rush over the top, and now Baskin swinging away. Chiron ult ripping through the team. Marauder in an awkward spot, but Homiefe, he's going to turn his attention onto the Kuang.
He's going to get a good ult off, though, is Varizial to try and survive, but Hurriwind gets a double kill with the 5 shots. Ricochet only hit 2 as Venenu falls down as well. The bombs rain from FaymousHate, but it's not enough for Homiefe to get stopped. Now Marauder, Lawbringer's away to safety. Actually, no, he meets in the jungle. The mighty jungle Metyankey is waiting tonight.
Deicide coming out for problem solved, likely to be the game here shortly. Fire Giant is what problem solved are going to focus on now, but no one can stop him at this point. Marauder has a teleport, but he's dead for 36 seconds. It's a 24k experience lead. It's a 14,000 gold lead. Problem solved. Looking like they're going to move on.
It looks like they're going to move on to week 4 now, and fair credit to both these two teams involved in this. Problem solved came in as the favorites, but they've got issues to work on going into next week, and
very clearly,
whoever they have to face for this relegation spot will definitely be looking close at the issues and the mistakes that Problem Solve made and trying to exploit them further. The risky behavior.
Their game 4-5, and honestly, or their games 3 and 4 were really good, and like this game 5 execution. Team comp was so good, right?
Yep.
They understood what risky behavior we're looking for. They pick up the Serqet in the last spot to counter out Wubbn on the Sylvanus. They pick them off, and they pick off Marauder as well. They get a little bit sloppy, though. They started playing like they were in the first 2 games, but you know their lead was so large at this time, it was almost impossible for risky behavior to get back in it.
And now, well, they're just going to do the death march pretty much of trying to defend. Just the Phoenixes remaining. Firejan just going to group up as 4 men and try and take as much space as you can, just survive for the time being. Because you don't want to give up just yet. You want to hope that they make the mistake. Risky behavior, though, this is a team to really, really watch. If we don't see this team as a whole enter the SPL or get themselves in a position to, I expect to see some of these names enter at some point this year.
That's one of the things, too, about Smite is at the SPL level, at the high end, it's kind of an old boys club. There's not a lot of players who are willing to replace their members, even if they're underperforming. I think Season 3 could be that time. These players, I'm really looking at Venenu here. I've loved his play. FaymousHate as well, also been working out really well. Like, these are all good players individually for the most part.
Mechanically skilled. Mechanically skilled. Just
if they get in the right situations, they can find a lot of success.
Left and Blink Fearless on the right. Marauder's getting annihilated there. He's going to have to disengage with the bulwark as he gets focused on. Venenu's trying to put out some poke damage where he can. Blinking from Varizial on the Kuang, looking for the pick on Hurriwind. Not going to find it, though. And now Baskin is there as on the left-hand side. They're looking for the Kuang, who's in a world of hurt.
It's only a matter of time. He's flung backwards. Water illusion. Doesn't even matter. Homie finishes that one off 10-0 and 9.
And now they can split push. They've got clay minions in mid lane as well as Metyankey to bring down the Phoenix. The last defense is here. Pull from Wubbn would have connected, but the Fearless came out from Marauder.
Big Petrify.
Petrify does connect though, but Metyankey is still alive.
Metyankey, I mean, just on the verge of death.
Meanwhile,
Homiefe
is just swinging around the side, waiting to pick up people trying to escape the engagement as Wubbn gets flipped into danger one more time. Wubbn will be more than likely the last man to die before the Titan does.
And now, 2 Phoenixes down, only Venenu left to stop anyone. Jigz gonna find a little bit of BM, but
good performance from Problem Solved. 29
this one.
to 6, 2-2 was the scoreline. Now 3-2. Problem solved. Move on alongside Flex today in honestly very, very close games.
I mean, risky behavior, if they had played like they did in the second half of that set in game 1, we could see Problem Solve eliminated. But I mean, that was such a fantastic showing. I love their team comp going into game 5. Unfortunately, it was countered out by the early aggression. Homiefe, honestly, the star that helped Problem Solved get themselves into the last phase of Relegations.
Let's go back to First Blood and see how this one began with Problem Solved. And it was over in the duo lane, I believe, where we saw Homiefe head over there and pick on a poor little tree.
Man, leave the trees alone. And this was just perfect play. Homiefe, honestly, putting no pressure on dual lane all game, and that's something that gets in your mind, right? If you're incredibly safe for the first 20 minutes of 4 games in a row, and a jungler rotates at level 5, you're just like, oh, what am I gonna do?
Well, the other thing is as well is we talked about game 5s, and these games are very long, and you're playing them back to back to back to back, and having those extended series are very difficult for you to get into the mindset of playing. Not the easiest thing to handle.
No, let's take a look at Homie's Real, though, player of the game. And honestly, his Serqet and Kali play, he looked so much more comfortable on, I think, than the Finrear in game 1.
Seen as very, very weak right now because of a cooldown reduction and a mobility nerf, but Homiefe showing still viable under the right circumstances.
And you could probably see Serqet. We'll probably see Serqet picked up if your team composition is looking to pick off the support player. And I mean, Serqet, there's no one better at it than her.
No, I mean, she's just good at mobility around the map still. Even though she's a little bit slower in her movement, so she's still got great mobility, ability to execute targets at different HP pools as well because of her true damage. And don't forget her passive. It deals great damage too because of those poison passives.
And Homiefe just kind of spreading the map. And it wasn't a slow bleed. It was a pretty fast bleed, but it was just like these, small victories, but they were every, minute, right? It wasn't like it's like, oh, we'll find, small victories every 5 to 10 minutes. It's like every minute Problem Solved was doing something. They were picking off some player. They were stealing some objective. And Homiefe was a big part of that.
Really good performance by Homiefe and the whole of Problem Solved to find themselves then into the final week of the relegations. I'm not sure who their opponents are, though. I've not found
It's going to depend, right? So the SPL team, 7 seed, gets to choose. Oh. So we're looking at Denial. We'll get to choose whether they want to face off against Flex or Problem Solved.
Who would you choose? If you were Denial, who would you choose?
I think Flex. Like Problem Solved, like they looked sloppy, but when they looked good, they looked really good. I think if Problem Solved kind of it almost seems like they were overhyped just because they knew they were good. They were beating these top teams, and they thought they were going to come in and run over Risky Behavior. You saw that in Game 1 and 2. It almost cost them, though. Game 3 and 4, so much better. That looked like an SPL team.
Well played by both those teams today. Well, all 4 teams today, to be honest, to get that far. But it's Team Flex and not Risky Behavior, Problem Solved to move forward to the next round. That was really BM. That was almost as bad as Jigz and the taunts. Anyway, we'll call it a day there. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you all next weekend to find out who makes it to the Pro League.